Welcome to CapitalW's Take5 series. We sit down with industry professionals and talk about their journeys and their understandings of mortgage capital markets. I'm co-founder of CapitalW Collective, Amy Creason, and I'm here with the wonderful Ashley Puckett, newly minted CMB. So congratulations,
Ashley.
Thank you
so much. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. Well, we asked the same 5 questions to get different perspectives, so we'll jump on in. And our first question is simply to describe yourself, your personal history, and your career journey.
All right, so I was a little bit of an Army brat when I was little. So I was born in Biloxi, Mississippi. I lived in Germany, and then I grew up in the Augusta, Georgia area. So I went to school, Georgia Southern, which is in South Georgia, then moved to Atlanta, and that's where I've been ever since.
Wonderful. Yeah. Great. Well, all right, so let's keep going. So tell us about your current position, your responsibilities, and organizational and industry interactions.
So I'm the Senior Capital Markets Analyst for Vela Mortgage. We're an IMB based out of Fairfax, Virginia. I work remotely in Atlanta.
Nice.
We do around $700 million worth of business a year. Sell agencies, aggregators, and just your typical IMB products.
Right, great. And so tell me about a day in the life of Ashley then.
So wake up in the morning, start watching the market. It's been a little crazy here lately. So watching the markets, working lock desk, doing loan sales. So we do all trading and loan sales in-house. We use MCT's platform to be able to get all of that done, get our analytics, and we use Poly PPE for all of our lock desk needs.
Great. All right. So in your day-to-day interactions, are you working with loan officers and then investors as well? Do you have that?
I work with everyone.
Everyone?
Yes. So really across the whole scope of the company. So anywhere from LOs, LOAs, underwriting, post-closing, obviously secondaries.
Yeah. Well, it's we've talked a lot about what capital markets means, that it's very broad. And I think you're a shining example of how capital markets intersects. I've described it kind of as a wheel with spokes, and so capital markets in the center, but just as you were describing with LOs and the closing area and all the operations. But I bet you're probably also from the financial analysis, taking a look at, how are you performing? So the finance component. So we really think that capital markets could be so many different versions of jobs, roles, and sometimes you wear multiple hats.
Yes, exactly.
And get that exposure.
Yeah, and my background, so I started in the industry in 2011. I actually started out as a loan processor. And then I moved in post-closing, did post-closing for about 6 years. And in post-closing, at my prior company, I helped get Freddie ticket, Ginnie ticket. So I was doing agency loan deliveries, Ginnie deliveries, which I feel like is a good segue into capital markets. And a position opened up, and I was like, I really want to move to secondary and capital markets, and that's where I've been ever since.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great journey, and we hear that commonly, but there's also folks that come from other sides, such as servicing, because they had the interaction as well, but just on the backside of the transaction. And so I've got to ask about industry participation. We mentioned newly minted CMB. Congratulations!
Thank you.
What a journey as a fellow CMB. But a long time ago. So I bet the process is a little bit different than when I went through it. But I'm really impressed with the MBA and their preparation materials and opportunities to learn. Can you tell us real quick about that CMB experience and what you might advise folks?
Yeah, so CMB was something I've been looking into for a few years now. So I did the Georgia Future Leaders Program with Mortgage Bankers Association of Georgia back in 2019. Did that, had my 2 boys, so kind of busy with babies back to back. And then with the market slowdown, it's like, this is perfect time to get my AMP. So I did all my Psalm 3 classes, got my AMP in 2023, and I was like, I really want to do this back to back.
Yeah.
And so then just, started asking as my sponsor, can you give me recommendations? And he said, just do it. Like, if you have any questions, I'll help you.
Yeah.
So signed up for the May prep course, for my study group, which was amazing. And I got it done in 3 months.
Well, that's fantastic. Yeah. And we were talking before, a younger group of folks and concentration of friendships, and would love for you to expound upon that.
Yeah, so I feel like I had a good bit of younger professionals in my CMB class, and even back to my AMP as well. And I think it's important for some of this younger generation to step up, to get in those classes, education, webinars, the networking, because we're the future of the industry. So I think it's very important for us to go ahead and just establish those close relationships and be able to work together and, make this industry what we want it to be for the future.
Well, and as you well know, Capital W Collective, our mantra is very congruent with that. Education, we believe, is really key. Awareness, understanding this place in the mortgage industry and the opportunities that it provides, but also being a better employee, period. If you understand the capital markets, the mortgage finance portion, how do you make money? And you make money a variety of different ways. If you're a depository or for an IMB, some of the same but different components, and a lot of opportunities through education to discover those places and those new careers, perhaps.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, education is power, right? I mean, for me, I don't like to stay in one lane. I want to be in all the lanes. I like to learn as much as possible. I think it's helpful, right, to be able to sit in a room with people that come from different areas of the industry and be able to ask questions and, ping ideas off of them. And a lot of what MBA does is connecting people together. That's why I'm excited about the CMB Society, because everyone has been so nice to me already. If you need anything, I'm here if you have any questions, and I love that so much.
Wonderful. All right, Ashley, next question is, what do you deem the most pressing issues for the mortgage industry, and how do those issues affect capital markets?
So number one, and I've heard this sentiment throughout the entire annual conference, affordability, and that hits every person, right? And I think once we get past the election into the new year and kind of see where the market's going to go, really hoping that the rates come down a little bit to provide that affordability to more people. Obviously, we're in an election year, and I think everyone's kind of holding on to see what's going to happen with that.
And what volatility itself does to yields.
Exactly.
Uncertainty is an option cost in hedging and trading and is incorporated into that interest rate.
Exactly. So, yeah, definitely election cycle. I mean, there is a lot of things going on in the world that also affect the market too right now. So really just, trying to do our best really with what we can control, right? We can only control so much. We can't control the market. So, with the affordability aspect, getting your LOs to, go into some of these underserved markets and just trying to educate the borrowers. And that way when time is right, they're ready to hop on, buy their first home, take out a loan, all that. So I think it's, right now, affordability, kind of waiting to see what the market's going to do, which I think, if rates start to come down, I think a lot of people will make a move and more inventory will be on the market, make it more affordable for people to get into their homes. So that was what I heard a lot of throughout the whole conference.
Right. So I think this is, we've talked a little bit, and I think you're an excellent person to provide advice to someone who is interested in pursuing a career in mortgage capital markets. What would you say to them?
I would say to do it, right? I would first say to try to get mentored by someone, like reach out to someone. Hey, I have questions, for me coming from loan processing, post-closing, and not traditionally starting out on a lock desk and moving over to trade desk, just asking the questions like, hey, what are you doing on a day-to-day basis? Hey, what does this mean? And trying to get in that way, right? And mentoring, I think, is fabulous. Even if you're not in capital markets, secondary, I think if you have a mentor that's in that sector and kind of learning from them and then easing your way into it, I think it's a very challenging, in a good way, career. And, you're kind of in the whole realm, right? Everything kind of revolves around secondary. Yeah. So you really get a lot of exposure to, a lot of different areas of the industry. So I always tell people, if you're interested in it, if you're in, say, for instance, a processor at a company, go to the secondary department and say, hey, I'd like to learn more about this.
Or come to CapitalW Collective and get some information as we seek to aggregate various types of secondary marketing, capital markets, or related, you get warehouse lending and so forth. So many different components. And we've got wonderful people like you that we can reach out to if someone says, I'm really interested in learning about being with an independent mortgage banker?
Mhm.
What does that look like? And so we can make those connections. So we really encourage
Exactly.
folks to come.
Yes.
Wonderful. All right, last question. What recommendation would you give to organizations seeking to improve diversity within their capital markets department?
I think it's just having the conversation, right? Having the conversations within your own department and knowing, hey, if we need to hire someone, speak up and say, hey, like maybe, I know this wonderful woman, she's looking for a job. Maybe we should get her in, interview. And I think it's just advocating for ourselves, advocating for myself personally, advocating for other women, minorities, and just having the conversation, right? I think that's really the only way we're going to get more diversity in our business is by advocating for ourselves.
And it comes with merit, of course.
It does,
right?
Of course, yes.
It's not let's pick someone and put them in the seat. No business will be successful doing so. But expanding your networks and looking outside of your own, I think it's difficult. I'm guilty of it myself.
Yeah.
Look inside.
Yes.
Well, great. All right, Ashley, these are just the fun questions that we like to use to learn about people. So, what is your favorite food?
I don't have a specific favorite. However, I love Thai food. I love Mexican food, Mediterranean food, really anything with like tons of flavor. Love spicy food.
All right. Well, now my mouth is watering, and we're here at the MBA annual in Denver, so we've had a lot of those things at various receptions. But you're making me long for some of my favorite restaurants at home. All right. Any hobbies or special interests?
So I love listening to live music. Love going to concerts, music festivals. I love cooking. I love trying new recipes. Going to new restaurants. Love traveling. Really anything outside. I have 2 small boys, so they like to be outside. So whether it's, going on a hike, riding bicycles, going to the pool in the summer, really just, anything. I just always enjoy just spending time with people and, being outside, music, food.
Good experiences.
Yes.
All of that sounds like it makes for a really good life. Is there a book, a periodical, or a podcast that you would recommend?
I love Colleen Hoover books.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so big fan of hers. They kind of draw you in, and
Yeah, great. All right. So you were talking about how you love to get live music. What favorite musician or musical group?
I would say I will answer it in genre form because I listen to a little bit of everything, but I love red dirt music. So that's music that comes out of Texas, Oklahoma. I would say it's a mixture of Americana bluegrass, country, just not mainstream. Also love kind of classic rock music. I love rap music. So like I kind of the whole spectrum.
Yeah. Well, great.
Yeah.
I love the diversity. And then lastly, if you could travel anywhere, where would you go?
Southeast Asia is definitely like high on my list. So Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam would like love to do a month-long backpacking trip and go see and eat. See the culture.
Wonderful. Well, who you need to talk to is CapitalW Collective co-founder Leslie Winnick. She has done all of that.
Oh, so
wonderful.
That's awesome.
Well, Ashley, thank you so much for being with us, for sharing your experiences, both professional and personal. It's always great to get to know someone. And I hope everybody will continue to tune in to our CapitalW Collective Take5s, where we get our friends' takes on 5 questions. Thanks so much, Ashley.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Great.